Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and today we're going to do a book wrap-up for the month of January 2020. I know it's late already, but as what they say, it's better late than never. Alright, so let's start. As you can see here, the books that I've read for this month of January, there are a total of 6 books, and once I'm done reading the books, I cover them up using a clingy wrap to somehow protect them and maintain their good condition while I keep them on my bookshelf. So yes. Okay, so I just started this channel this March, and so I thought, why not catch up with a video and make a wrap up on the books that I have read at the beginning of this year. So for January, I was able to read 6 books despite my busy schedule, as a working individual that comes to work 5 days a week and having a toddler. I can say I've been productive, if only my wife agrees. The first book is published in 1933 during the golden age of crime fiction, somewhere from 1920s up to the 1930s. It's a detective mystery featuring Albert Campion in a series. It is Sweet Danger, written by one of the queens of crime, and a trivia that it's a favorite of J.K. Rowling among the 4. She is Marjorie Allingham. To those who do not know of the queens of crime, they are Dorothy Sayers, Nio Marsh, Agatha Christie, and Marjorie Allingham. I just learned about Agatha Christie last 2016 at the age of 27, compared to those who have read Agatha Christie when they were 12, 13, but me, I learned about her on my later life. So, in the Philippines, you don't get to buy books that easy. It's expensive, it's pricey. And so I was able to collect books when I started working already, and I'm, somehow able to buy those books. But in the Philippines, in my country, it's not that easy to access those types of books. But I'm still lucky to have known these writers. I got instantly hooked after reading Murder of Roger Ackroyd, The Murder on the Orient Express, and then and the book that's called And Then There Were None. That book is considered to be the best-selling crime mystery novel of all time, selling 100 million copies worldwide. So that's just a trivia. I did some searching on the internet. I found out there are other amazing writers. I got curious about the golden age of crime, thus I started looking for books such as this one, the one I'm holding right now, and this is my first book of Marjorie Allingham, and I must say, she's something. It's considered to be a classic, published in 1933, but the writing is easy to follow, nothing difficult here to understand. I like the writing, the dialogues. The dialogues are great. What's there not to get hooked on? It has treasure hunting, English countryside, old house eerie setting, a mad doctor who practices witchcraft, who casts spells and conjures spirits, a detective who is up for adventure, cat and mouse race with a despicable villain named Savanache. Now that Savanache name, for a Harry Potter fan, you'll get to notice the similarities with the name Snape. I'm just connecting it because J.K. Rowling is a big fan of this author, so I don't know. This book has a bit of romance, there are funny scenes, terrifying ones, so it's a nice and quick read. So yeah, Sweet Danger. Now for my second book, this one is published in 1935, again during the golden age of crime. She's one of the 4 queens of that era, the one who also, just a quick trivia, she's translated Dante Alighieri trilogy which Dan Brown has a book based on that. From Italian to English, she is none other than Dorothy Sayers. Dorothy Sayers, one of the first women who was admitted and able to graduate and earn a degree in Oxford University in the UK. Godey Knight is a detective mystery. It follows her detective Lord Peter Wimsey's future fiancée, Harriet Vane, who is an alumni in Oxford and a crime novelist as well, who was invited to visit their college and attend an annual Godey celebrations, but during her visit, someone begins a series of malicious acts, and including poison pen messages, or in today's world, those bashers and trolls sending hate messages, But at the time, it was via letters to the attendees, and sometimes that person wrote something bad around the walls of the school, the university. Harriet and Peter Wimsey will find out who is the culprit. The writing is nice. One can easily notice, though, it's of literary style. The writing, fantastic. This book is terrifically written. It's quality writing, really. It's moving. The writing is easy to follow, considering it was written in 1935. Considered to be a classic as well, but no, it's an easy read. Doesn't focus much, though, into the usual detective mystery story, but still, satisfying read to me. So yes. For my third book, this one is published in 1995 from his Dark Materials trilogy, written by a terrific writer. The first installment, it's The Northern Lights by Philip Pullman. This one here has a movie adaptation which stars Nicole Kidman and Daniel Craig. I watched the film years ago. I liked it. I was waiting for the sequel on the big screen, but it never materialized. But I think HBO bought the rights and made a TV series recently, which I have not seen yet. Anyway, I like the story. It's brilliant. I'm fascinated by the dust. This book talks about dust. I had to check my Bible and went back to the story of Adam and Eve. It's just fascinating. It's rich, inventive, just fascinating. I can't wait reading the sequel. For my fourth book, the next one is... I regret watching the movie adaptation back in 2008. I was in college then. After watching the film, I wanted to grab the book where it was based from. In the end, I read the book. I hated it because cast in the movie adaptation was etched already in my imagination. I just wish, while I was reading the book, I couldn't get away from the cast already. I just really wish I got to know the book first prior to watching the movie adaptation. Anyway, from 2008, watching the film, and then 2009, I read the book, and then fast forward to 2020, rereading it just last January, I'm still in shock about this book. I enjoyed the writing. I find it to be a brilliant story. It is simple, direct, nothing fancy in the prose, but meaty, thought-provoking, easy to follow. It has short but fantastic sentences. It's philosophical, psychological, and I can say it's morally complex. And the plot really is brilliant, This is the type of literary work where you get to be thankful, because what if literature was not invented in the first place? It must be a devastating world to live in, if I may say. This book is just marvelous for me. Here's my 2 cents. It's a work of literature at its best, really. For those who haven't seen the movie, you're lucky. Please don't read any reviews. Don't watch the movie yet. Don't Google anything. Please just pick it up and read it. You'll be amazed. I promise you. It's one of the best stories I have come across in literature in my lifetime. And simply superb. It has all the elements of what a great work of literature should be. I can't stress that enough. Much respect for the writer, for all of us. It's The Reader by Bernard Schlink. It stars Kate Winslet. And the guy who played Voldemort in Harry Potter series, that's him and Kate Winslet. There's just really something remarkable about this work of literature, and I really liked it. So yeah. Again, it's The Reader by Bernhard Schlink. And for my fifth book, it is the Girl in the Spider's Web by David Lagerkrantz, continuing Stieg Larsson's Millennium series. I like the Millennium trilogy written by Stieg Larsson. It's just, what a thriller. It's brutal, it's fresh. I like the setup. It has likable characters you get to cheer on. Good versus evil theme. I was hesitant picking up this book because it's not written by Stieg Larsson. He died. But an author has been commissioned to continue the series. I gave it a try. It didn't disappoint. Still a gripping installment. I enjoyed the plot. A marvelous read. Though you'll feel really it is obviously not written by Stieg Larsson anymore when you read this book. The Girl in the Spider's Web. I wonder what he would be up to for the fourth book had he remained alive today. But anyway, still a good read, yeah. So again, The Girl in the Spider's Web, the fourth installment, written by David Lagerkrantz, continuing Stieg Larsson's Millennium series. So yeah. And for my sixth and final book, it's the Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden, published in 1997. It's a controversial novel. It's about a story of a geisha in Japan, written by a man. This novel is told in a first-person perspective. The author really had to get under the skin of the protagonist, who happens to be a woman. It's a feat, really, for a writer. Incredibly well written. The writing is elegant. The narrative is fully constructed. Sometimes poetic. While I was reading the book, I enjoyed the writing. The prose is very rich of what you can expect of Japan. The culture, the belief, the traditions. It's layered with money and power, as well as bits and pieces of wisdom. It's full of likable and unlikable characters, I must say. It's a wonderful piece of literature, really. And this is a movie adaptation, which I have not seen it yet. And I don't plan on seeing, because I don't want to ruin the experience I had reading the book. I might just be disappointed with the movie. But it depends, really. Maybe I may give it a try later, but yeah. I mentioned this book to be controversial because the story is based on a geisha's memoir. Arthur Golden interviewed this lady who was once a geisha herself in Japan. This book is actually set before, during, and after the Second World War in Japan. But there was a misunderstanding. After the book was published, the lady didn't like how the author portrayed her in some parts of this book, or the story she told to the author didn't stay true to the lady's real experiences. So she sued the publisher and the author, and after some time, eventually a settlement had been agreed upon both parties. And then the woman wrote a book herself and published it, this time telling her side of the story as being the real geisha. There you have it, guys. Thank you for joining me today. Let me know your comments about these books. If you've read it already, let me know if you liked it or whatnot. We'll talk again about more books soon. And thank you. I'm your Pinoy booktuber. Basa-basa din pag may time.